Whoa, wait a minute. Are you serious? Is Silver Dollar City really worth the price? All right, we've got to talk about this. Hey, this is John, TPF, Travel, Trips, Places, and Fun. This is where we talk about cruise news and vacation news, travel news, breaking news, and hometown Branson, Missouri news. And we need to dive into this thing right here. I hear about this often, this question, this comment, this train of thought, this belief system, and is Silver Dollar City really worth the price? And let's just talk about theme parks in general. Is it really worth the price? We hear that about Disney. Are you serious? I mean, the price is absolutely outrageous, and that's what I'm hearing all the time. So let's think about this, and I want to come at this from a few different angles. And of course, I am confident that you all are going to have some comments, some thoughts of your own, and I would like to hear those comments. I want you to type those out and send them, and Amy's going to read them, and I'll be giving feedback, and we'll have a nice little discussion, because this is a bit of a hot topic. I would venture to say that it is. And oh, by the way, right there, do you see that? Sub to TPF. That's the only way you're going to be notified when the latest, greatest news and entertainment info and all that kind of stuff is coming out. You got to subscribe. It's absolutely entirely free. What in the world is free these days? This is free, absolutely free. You don't pay a dime, which is amazing. But yeah, let's have a discussion here. And I'm going to come at this from a few different angles because, okay, yes, let's admit that you're going on vacation and, you want to go to a theme park, and it's kind of, for most or many, it's kind of the anchor of the vacation. And then you start kind of punching out, the numbers on the old handy dandy solar powered calculator. And you're like, whoa, whew, yeah, that ain't cheap. It's not cheap, and I get that. That's for real. And there's all sorts of statistics and studies out there, and there are some that save for many, many, many years and decades even to take their family to Disney World. And so we're talking. You go to Disney, and I'm not going to throw all these numbers out at you because they're changing all the time, and I didn't want to do that. You can look it up, but I think we can agree that Disney there in Florida is just off the charts, and the price keeps going up. And so we need to think about that. Silver Dollar City, over the years, the price has gone up. In fact, this blew my mind. I mean, I didn't realize this. I worked at Silver Dollar City back in the 80s. I graduated high school in 1987. And so and that was kind of the time frame where I worked there, a little, and then after graduation and all that. And I worked in the parking lot, and I drove the green trams, and I'd sit on the back of the tram, and I would do the spiel. And I always got in trouble doing that because I would tell people that the cave moved from the front of the park, and they had to move it to the back of the park. I would talk about how there's poisonous llamas in the trees that we're driving by, and so don't stick your hands out. And you'd have people over there like looking for the llamas up in the trees, and I'd just sit there and smile, and people would look back at me and give me a grin, and I'd have fun doing that. I wasn't supposed to do that. And so back in that day, I saw a ticket, and the ticket to get into Silver Dollar City, if I remember correctly, approximately $11.95, I think is what it was. A full day ticket to get into Silver Dollar City. Now, of course, Silver Dollar City didn't have all of the bells and the whistles that it has today, but it was still incredible entertainment. It was still great fun, a great park. And then you could add, what was it, $7 and upgrade it to a season pass. So for like $20 or less, a little more with tax, you're there. You are there at Silver Dollar City all year long. And so here we are talking about the cost, and of Silver Dollar City, or we can talk about Disney or Universal, which is, of course, they're positioning themselves to be quite a bit cheaper than Disney out there in Orlando, and we have different places like that. But now we're creeping up into $70, $80, depending on what park you're thinking about, $100, $130, on up. Depends on what kind of tickets you want. Depends on the type of experience you want. In fact, at Disney now, you can get their new Fast Pass, their Genie Plus system, and you can pay more. You can pay more to get on a ride and not wait for that ride. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is kind of getting back into kind of like the county fair kind of thing, where you pay per ride. Disney, you remember back in the day, Disney had like the what was it, the e-ticket, right? The ABCD e-ticket, and an e-ticket ride was the best ride, and so you'd pay extra for that. Or they're kind of getting back to that a little bit. So you're going to be able to shell out loads and loads and loads of money. But again, let's think about this. We're thinking Silver Dollar City too. Let's come from a variety of different angles. First of all, is your budget. Everybody's budget's different. Everybody. You've got people that are saving 10 years, to go somewhere. And then you have some people that are saving 2 weeks. To go there. Why? Everyone has a different level of income, and so budgets are different, and I get that. Of course, I'm living in the same world you're living in, and I understand that. And so we've got budget issues, and so the sting of a ticket price might be quite a bit different for one, someone over here, and then someone over here. It's not so much. And so you got to take that into consideration. Different things cost different. It's the free market system we live in. Some people are going to choose to do some less expensive things, and some people are going to choose to do some more expensive things. We're going on this Disney cruise next week. And I keep hearing about, people doing like 3.5-month cruises and around the world cruises. And I'm like, not only where do you get the time to do that, I guess if you're retired, but wow, the money to do that is off the hook, off the charts. It's huge. And so, so we have different budgets. So that's one consideration, just because, and I think we need to be realists here. We don't want to be people that complain. Let me just encourage you. Can I encourage you? I was a pastor for a lot of years, and let me just encourage you. Complaining feels good in the moment. It really does. Boy, we just rise up in this righteous indignation, or probably unrighteous indignation, and and it feels good, and I want to get my opinions out there to you, because I want to bless you with my opinions, because they're so awesome, but it just kills you. It's like poison, and complaining is just, it's poisonous, and it's just, and you can, sadly, you can see it on people, or you can see it in yourself, sadly also, if that's happening, and it feels nasty, and you wake up angry at the world, and you're frustrated, and you're blaming others, and you're mad, and you're pointing fingers, and that's your life, and there's a lot of people out there like that. I just want to encourage you, don't live like that. Be positive, be joyful, and you don't be pointing the fingers at everybody because something's not happening the way that you want it to happen. And so we can look at Silver Dollar City, and I hate to even use this terminology. I hate it because I hate it. But for years, people have used the term "steal your dollar city." Okay? And I hate that. I'm like, come on. First of all, it's a little junior high, if I have to be honest, but nobody's stealing your dollar. Nobody's stealing your dollar. It's like going to Walmart and steal your dollar Walmart because what they're making you buy a gallon of milk. And nobody's making anybody go to Silver Dollar City. No one's making anybody go to Disney World. Of course, there's all sorts of people that are just mad, fuming, steaming mad at Disney World because their ticket prices are going up, and the Genie Plus thing, and the extra ride tickets. Oh, and the new Star Wars hotel. Man, I want to go to that. That thing looks incredible. I want to go to the Star Wars, hotel there at Disney, but there are people mad because of the incredible price. We're talking like $6,000 for 2 nights, and wow, that's a lot of money. And I was reading something, and there was a dad that was just heartbroken because he had told his kid that when that opens up, they're going to be able to go, and now, thinking he can save $1,000 and go, it's $6,000 or whatever that number was, big giant number. And so, I mean, different level, but no one is forcing you to go there. No one's forcing you to go to the Star Wars hotel at Disney. No one's forcing you to go to Disney. No one's forcing you to get the Genie Plus pass. No one's forcing you to stay, at one of Disney's premier properties. No one's forcing anybody, to go to Silver Dollar Cities. No one's forcing anybody to go to a Branson show. No one's forcing anybody to go anywhere. And so the whole idea of, steal your Dollar City or being mad because, we have to shell out all this money. No, honestly, it's coming at this from a few different angles, this whole idea of things being too expensive. Nobody's forcing anybody to go to anything. So there's literally no stealing of any dollars at all. None. There's no stealing of anything. And so if you want to go to Silver Dollar City, go in knowing what the price is. Do your research. What does the food cost? What else are you gonna have to pay when you get there? Do you want to pay for parking or not? We never do. So I would recommend if possible, if it works for y'all, don't, because it's just another extra 2 or 3 minute walk in most cases, unless they're having you park way far away because it's a busy day. But, so don't pay for parking or do pay for parking. If you, again, different budgets, maybe you do want to pay for parking. That's good, but do your research. And then you don't have anybody to blame but yourself if you decide to go and enjoy Silver Dollar City. Because here's what happens. When we go, no matter where it is, when we go to a place that is expensive, again, we're going on this Disney cruise and we're paying a little bit of money to go on this Disney cruise. Well, if I'm going on this Disney cruise and right now I'm thinking, that's so expensive and it's too expensive and it's not right and it's not fair and they shouldn't be charging that much. And then I get on the ship and instead of having the time of my life, and Mickey is there, and Minnie is there, and it's just magical, and we're so excited, and we want to go see our stateroom, and boy, how I'm excited about going to eat my lunch and my dinner, and I'm going to Palo, that restaurant, and going to the ports, and this is gonna be the best ever. So instead of having that mindset, we're like, this is so expensive. I don't know that it's worth it. My first Disney cruise. I'm not seeing it. Where's the value for my money? Oh man, don't be that person. Ew. It's like you just want to, don't be that person, right? And so no, you don't have anyone to blame but yourself, right? And so think about that. But let's talk about another angle. Let's do this. And this is the easiest one to get across. I cannot fathom, honestly, like for real. Other than dealing, understanding the budget issues and different things, I cannot fathom how anybody in their right mind could ever suggest that Silver Dollar City or even Disney World or Universal Studios, Dollywood, that they are too expensive. It does not register on my grid. It makes no sense to me. And somebody help me out. Could you help me out with this? And I'm going to explain what I mean. Where else can you go for whatever the price is, $70, $80, $120, $130, whatever it is per person? Where can you go and have almost never ending world-class entertainment everywhere around you? I mean, for real, this is like, where else can you go and experience that? Where? You go, Silver Dollar City has Marvel Cave. It's free as a part, it's included rather in the ticket. You're not paying extra for that. Yet you go on a cave tour, a standalone cave, whatever those prices are. I don't even know what they are, but let's pretend they're $30 a person, $25 a person, even $20 a person, just for the cave, only the cave. And that's all you get. What about the rides? Well, even, let's think about coasters. First of all, you're not going to find a coaster anywhere, typically anywhere else other than in a park. But let's think about some of these mountain coasters we have here in Branson, and they have them in different places in Gatlinburg. And so you're going to go on a mountain coaster, and whatever that price is, again, I don't know, but let's say anywhere from $12 to $29, whatever it is. So you get to go on that once or maybe twice. Sometimes they'll let you go more than that if you bump up your ticket a little bit. And so now you've got a mountain coaster. So it's like we want to duplicate like Silver Dollar City. So we're going to go to the cave and pay $25. We're going to go on the mountain coaster and pay $20. We're up to 45. And you're about done. You know, then of course you have all of the other rides. Where are you going to be able to go on dark rides and you know, again, you know, all of these roller coasters and all of these kiddie rides and a train, and where the train gets robbed. And where are you going to be able to do? If you had to pay for everything that you're getting a la carte, boy, that changes the conversation fast, right? I mean, there's just no comparison. Then you've got shows. If there, of course, Branson is Showtown. If you want to go to a show, you're going to be paying on a good amount of money. You know, anywhere from the lower, you know, $29 up to $60, $70. You know, you think about Sight and Sound Theater, that's big dollars. Or you think of, you know, Hay Goods or Presley's. And again, not sure exactly what the prices are, but, you know, we're looking 40, 50-ish, something like that, you know, depending on where you go. And so now, you know, you go at Christmas time to Silver Dollar City, you have, at no extra charge, you've got Dickens. You've got the other new Christmas show that they just opened this past year. You've got the saloon show. You've got kids shows. You've got music on Main Street in the gazebo there, or, you know, you've got all of this entertainment. You've got, you know, talking about Christmas time, we got carolers walking around. So now if you have to, what would it be like if you had to pay for every single one of those shows? Every one. You know, I obviously I'm making my point. Not only that, but you get the ambiance, you get the atmosphere, which is unmatched anywhere. You go to Silver Dollar City and you're walking around and you're smelling the smells, and, you know, and you're just seeing the beauty and the trees and the, you know, and the theming, and you're in another world. And same thing with Disney. There's nowhere in the world that you can go and duplicate what Disney does. You know, of course, Universal does it in a different way. Can't duplicate what Universal does. You're not going to go out somewhere and have a Disney experience and ride Space Mountain and, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean, you know, and all of these, you know, cool ride, like the Spider-Man ride, which I love, over at Universal, and, you know, all the new rides and new things and new experiences. You know, you got the fireworks over the castle at Disney World, and, you know, huge, you know, dramatic, you know, shows and experiences. And wow, I mean, there is no comparison. And so if you're going to be a la carte and all of that, which is impossible, if you could, you're going to be into the thousands and thousands of dollars. And so this idea, and I could go on and on and on and on and on. There's so much more. You know, you think of a season ticket at Silver Dollar City. You know, you can just add a small amount to your one-day pass, and that enables you to go every day they are open. Every single day they're open. And now we're thinking it's kind of silly that people are saying that it's too expensive. It makes no sense. So now that I can go hundreds of days a year to Silver Dollar City, and without any extra payment other than my initial, whatever it was, $100, I don't know what it is, $120 or whatever it is. My initial payment, $150 maybe. I think they have different levels now, but whatever it is, even the highest level, $180, $200 for the entire year. Now I can go on Time Traveler 80 times. I can go on Outlaw Run 80 times. I can see the Saloon Show, which I did, you know, probably 20 times. See Dickens, I probably saw it, 4 or 5 times. You know, and again, and then I ride Mystic River Falls, you know, 30 times all year long. Walk around, see all the pumpkins during the Pumpkin Fest, see all year long. So now we're talking, it's starting to get a little silly, a little bit laughable, that people would ever even think of complaining that Silver Dollar City is too much. Are you serious? Look at me. Are you serious? Steal your what? What? Huh? Come on. You got to help me out. You got to do better than that, folks. And so, no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Oh, let me throw this last little point out there. Let's think about this real quick. People, whether it's Disney or Silver Dollar City or Dollywood or whatever, people get frustrated, especially during Christmas and pumpkins, at the crowds. Wouldn't it make sense to thin the crowds out for these parks to raise their prices by 50%? I'm not hoping that happens as a consumer myself, but wouldn't that make sense? And then you raise the price, and then it thins the crowds out. That's free market at work right there. And of course, I don't want them to do that, because then, we originally started talking about budget. It does price it out for a whole lot of people. All right, so there's this concept out there that on the surface, it really sounds like a good idea. And so I've heard some people out there saying, well, you know what? I don't ride the rides. I don't do that. That's not me, Maybe my grandkids will do that, or maybe my kids will want to do that, but I don't want to ride the rides. But I love Silver Dollar City. I want to be there. I want to be in the atmosphere. I want to walk the park. So why don't we have kind of two options? Let's have a walk the park ticket that's $50, and let's have a full blown ticket that's $100 or whatever the number is, half price. Let's just say half price, and let's do that. And that way, those that want to do one thing can do one thing, and those that want to do another thing can do another thing. And, on the surface, that's not a terrible idea, because it would seem that maybe it would open up the park to more people, because there's people out there and they'll say, I don't want to go to Silver Dollar City because I don't ride rides. I don't do coasters. Maybe a train ride is it. So what if we had one ticket for just the park, and you can walk around and enjoy the atmosphere and listen to the music, and maybe a train ride. And so that's one ticket. But the other ticket is just full blown. It's not that I don't understand that. I'm not saying that there wouldn't be demand. Of course, there's going to be demand for that. However, we have to think, Silver Dollar City or any park that does this, they really are in it to maximize profits. And you're not going to find any business out there that knows how to function as a business, that has any business smarts at all, that's going to make decisions that compromise profits. It's bad business management, right? And so if Silver Dollar City, it's supply and demand. If they are able to still fill the park, to capacity, which they do, and they've got to cut off, selling tickets on some of the busiest days, so they're making the money, and the revenue is what it needs to be, and people are willing to pay full price, then it would make absolutely no sense. In fact, it would be foolishness for them to cut the ticket price. It wouldn't make any sense whatsoever, even though it would open up the park to more people. And so we got to think about, is a theme park a business, or is it a charity to where they want, it's not about the profits? Are they a nonprofit charity where it's not about the profits and it's about just a service, or is it actually a business that is about, with honesty and integrity, about making money, right? And so that's just the way it is. You're not going to find a sandwich shop that cuts the price for one person and doubles the price for another person. You're not going to find these types of, experiences really out there, but especially with theme parks and amusement parks, it's just the model. It's how it works. You're not, I don't know of any theme park out there that has these multiple types of tickets, really. You got, you go to Disney World, and you're not going to have a walk around price, which I think that would be cool, because I would love some days just not to ride any rides at Silver Dollar City, at Disney World or Silver Dollar City, and just walk around. Just walk. In fact, those of you that follow us here at TPF Travel, you'll notice that Amy and I very often, when we're visiting amusement parks and theme parks, we won't ride a thing. We were at Holiday World recently, and I don't think I rode anything. I might have ridden one ride, a dark ride, no coasters, nothing, none of that. And we often go to parks at Worlds of Fun. didn't ride a single ride. We're just out there for the atmosphere. But it's not something that's done. Beyond that, we've got to get to the understanding of what you're getting for your ticket. Okay, so let's say that you wanted this cheaper ticket, and you only want to walk around, and you only want to go to the shows, and you only want to listen to the music. Well, if you a la carte those options, this show and that musical act, and all that, and you want to walk around the grounds, just to get into Dogwood Canyon, for example, to walk around the grounds, you got to pay money. So the walking around because they have to tend the grounds, and they have to do all that, and you're already going to be paying way more. You value a show at Silver Dollar City at $30. You do 2 shows, you're at $60. You walk around, let's value walking around at $20. You're up to $80. And you want to go through the cave, value that at another whatever, $20-$30. All of this starts adding up. So I don't think, even though it's on the surface, it seems kind of like an interesting idea, it just doesn't make financial sense. And Silver Dollar City is if there's supply, or if there's demand rather, then they consider the supply. They're not going to charge $500 a ticket. Why? Because the supply or the demand would go down. But right now, the demand is off the charts. And my argument, as much as I wouldn't want to see this happen on a personal level, my argument is, raise the prices. Just thinking from a business standpoint, because it would make sense at this phase, of business, maybe, to raise prices. And I'll just throw this last part out there. Once you can factor in that you can get a season pass, and you're paying $150 or less than $200 or whatever that number is, man, you don't need a walk around price. You don't need that. Get your season pass, and oh my goodness, that makes it worth it. And so you may disagree, of course. That's okay. But this is kind of my perspective. It's not only Silver Dollar City. This is just business sense, right? It's kind of how the world runs right now, right? We're in the best nation in the world. This free market system, it's the best. So hey, leave some comments and be nice. Just be nice. Be super duper nice. Be wonderful. And do you have any rebuttals to what I said? Any thoughts? Do you have any other kind of angles? Any other ways of thinking about this, different approaches, anything like that? I would love to hear what that is. So leave those comments and start saving and come on to Branson. Come on out to Silver Dollar City. Man, it is the most wonderful place, in my opinion, in the entire world, this Ozark region that we live in. All right. You are amazing. Remember, keep smiling, be full of joy, be full of life. Don't let that complaining thing come upon you. That's just ugh. And just change people's lives just with the way you smile, the way you approach life. Be ultra positive and encouraging, and you'll end up being a much happier person. All right. Huge blessings to you, and safe travels, everyone.